Thought is a characteristic of the need for adaptation, and can be seen as a response to that need. Thought, for the being in manifestation, arises essentially from the need to adapt to the world. From the first challenges faced by the being, to the complex demands of the life that unfolds, thinking is the mechanism that allows adjustment, transformation, and survival. This capacity is not singular, but multiple. It manifests in different forms, each suited to a particular type of situation. Among them, 3 stand out as fundamental pillars. Practical thinking, driven by action. Creative thinking, which fuels the ability to reinvent the world. Critical thinking, the filter that allows us to evaluate, question, and interpret information. Although distinct, these 3 modes of thinking do not compete, they complement one another. Practical thinking moves the being. Creative thinking expands it, and critical thinking guides it. When integrated, they form a powerful system of adaptation, making the being in manifestation appear to act efficiently, imagine new possibilities, and evaluate things with clarity. However, thought does not arise within the being, it is absorbed. It is the bearer of information, and, at the same time, the foundation of existence. By moving freely, thought exists, independently of any individual, always remaining available to be accessed. The mind is the point of connection between the being and thought. It is what gives form, defines boundaries, and individualizes each being. Once individualized, the being accesses the information present in thought and applies reasoning to it. Reasoning is a natural survival mechanism that encompasses both logic and instinct. In seeking to understand, reasoning tends toward reductionism, transforming thought into an apparent, partial understanding. Over time, understanding becomes confused with the repetition of this limited comprehension. Knowledge, however, reveals itself when thought is unveiled in its essence. As the whole provokes thought, it is through it that the beginning and the end of things are reached. Thought possesses its own forms to reveal the mechanics of existence, formation, origin, intertwinings, and the ending of everything that is manifested. The mind, in turn, establishes limits and provides sufficiency to the being, always respecting the rules of thought. Thought and mind walk together, although they remain distinct. The so-called universal thought is thought itself, unique, total, and complete. Elation arises when thought is not understood. Conscious and unconscious states, although they seem opposite, feed on the same thought that originated them. Therefore, any mental state is indifferent to the being in its essence. The human being believes they are awake or dreaming, solely based on the state of consciousness in which they find themselves. However, an action is only truly understood when one enters the thought that generated it. Most actions performed are not even perceived. It is common for the individual to execute something and, sincerely, not recognize themselves as the author. This is not dishonesty, but the absence of perception of thought in action. Upon entering real thought, the being clearly sees the work as it is. It also sees the reality that reveals the invented characters and facts, as well as those that were concealed. Dissolving into the original thought grants the being mastery over its own thought. And, in the silence of non-thinking, what the being truly is revealed, something far beyond thought itself.